These performances, I want to lay with you point down what
Yes, I have quite a few. And I'm going to, yes, I do. I promise you, I have quite a few.
Fantastic.
But the one that is always sticking out and that will forever take precedence is when we performed at the Cape Town Jazz Festival with the late Hip Hop Anzola. This was in 2007, if not 2008. A while back, but it changed actually the music industry. I think that's why it's that important to me. He was the first hip hop act to ever be featured go a jazz festival of that caliber. That's Cape Town Jazz Festival. He was the first. So the responsibility was, it better work. I remember he was that was his one. Tibi, oh, he used to call me, eh? Do you think, Mari, do you think really change the jazz? No. The fact that music you own. So when your responsibility is to present it to your best ability. Listen, we worked on it for like 2 weeks, close to rehearsal for 2 weeks. Got the attires and stuff, which had a theme where we wore like the striped cardigans and whatever, like school kids, and he was the prefect, and we had a theme going there. We went there, we were performing at the baseline stage. After doing the intro we did the Nkosi Sigelele as the intro, the national anthem, but of course it had a little thing that was nice. Then we did that, it went into Harambe. Right? So straight from there, you know, the guitar. So my goodness. How does that pina you? The owner of Cape Town Jazz Festival. I'm seeing him on stage. Ugwele manager. I get on the bass player, but I'm ramping, how to feel. But because the way I thought it was delay, as I'm staging, but I'm going to put the plastic cups. I can't have a you. No. Our guys have to stop WHP for performing. Are due to a stampede. The people, I had friends who came, they're like, we could not move. The only way people could move was if they moved together. That's how packed it was. Really more feeling about that. When our performance, I'm talking probably 15 minutes. We had to be stopped. But unfortunately, we have to stop this performance and wait. Remember, Cape Town Jazz Festival has 4 or 5 stages. For everybody to finish performing. And we were taken to the biggest stage, which was outside, to go perform our set.
Killing me.
I promise you, I feel like I'm there even now. I can never trade this feeling for anything else.
Madume, and welcome to the Dust&Vision podcast. And I'm your host, Obageng Orachweni Umudise, Pastness. This is episode 21. You guys subscribing on YouTube, there's a Muraho, the Platinum Television, or TV. On social media, handles Tarona, the Dust&Vision in Tiharayano. We are joined by an incredible force in South African music industry, a recording and award-winning bassist, singer, songwriter, arranger, music director, and a mentor. Our guest is Tebogo Sedumedi, affectionately known to her fans as AusTebza. She's a recording artist with 2 albums under her name, including a debut album, Make a Difference. Her musical journey has taken her to some of the most respected stages, including the Makhanda Festival, Joy of Jazz, and the Joburg Arts Alive Festival, as well as international performances in places like Reunion Island and on a select tour supported by Pro Health Festival. Throughout her career, she has worked alongside some of the biggest names in South African music, including WHP, Hip Hop, Pantsula, KB Mutslenyane, Simpio Dana, Low Levine, Proverb, Buhle Bendalo, Voter Killaman, and the late Gloria Bosman. But beyond the performances and collaborations, today we want to understand the journey, discipline, and passion behind the artist. Welcome to the Dust&Vision, AusTebza.
I'm with you.
Yeah, it's already your balama balang. Is it me?
What's
that information?
I'm like, is this person talking about me or someone that I know?
There's the big profile that you've already.
And that's not even everything.
It's just the tip of the. Our followers.
Bagaitso dumelang, ke nna Tebogo Sedumedi, affectionately known as AusTebza, and I'm so honored to be here, and I hope what I have to share with you guys will be informative, will be educational, will be entertaining as well.
Great stuff, great stuff.
Abuti Ubakeng, thank you so much for having me.
AusTebza, have a blessing us, Lerona,
Hey.
and for honoring our call. Yo, so when Mmabana and you decide to start
Hey.
singing in a band at the age of 15 years,
Hey, okay.
in a band called AusTebza, which later became known as Mmabana Pop Band. Take us back to those early days. What was it like discovering music at such a young age?
Actually, 15 is when I discovered it myself.
Oh.
It has always been there.
Oh, yeah.
Now I'm going back to listening to my dad and my late mom, how they would tell me how, because they used to work for Sun City.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
How when I would come, when I was a baby, like about my 3 years and 4 years, I would go to Sun City, and somehow, first of all, everybody would be drawn to me. They're like, you were like a magnet. Like you would just be walking and doing your own thing, and people would be like giving you money.
Oh.
And my dad recently told me, "Hore, nabatsamaya ka wena o kry go tlile bo Rod Stewart.
How?
Bari has a mo Super Bowl. O le ka for bo palama stage." Kore ga mpolela that, I'm like, what are you saying?
Yo.
A re bo Freddie Mercury.
Yo.
But I can't get na social media now. So you can imagine if that happened now. Ooh. Woman. But just the stories on their own, they are testament to the little girl I was who was drawn to music at the age of 15. And at this age, that's when I was like, this thing is it's so big. It wants to come out. And I went to Mmabana.
Okay.
I was 15, I was doing a grade 11.
Can I when I walk to the park?
Yeah. But I remember High School, and I had this friend. She loved rapping, and I loved singing and rapping.
Oh yeah? Oh
Yes.
yeah? Rapper?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yo, nkile karata gore.
I think all of us
Yeah, it's a ne? So at the age of 15, I remember Kapetara ko Mmabana, Kitsana ko Mmabana. It was still the late Brawili Retsang was the head of Mmabana.
Oh, yeah.
I went in at 15, I walked in, I knocked, I asked, "Ke batla music department, I'm this 15-year-old, he's sitting across the table." I remember after I spoke, he started laughing. He's like, wow, so confident. Because I really walked in and I'm like, "Hi, I'm Tebogo Sedumedi, ke na le 15, ke kwala music. I need a band to play music." I'm sorry, I didn't
I'm a superstar.
Like, at 15.
So don't
and then there was a band then called AusTebza. Then he called one of the band members for, okay, Arwa Pela, they were rehearsing. Can you go and then I did. Then singer I promise you. I remember the first gig, they had to go home by my mom for me to go to a gig because I was 15.
Yeah.
And my dad was, and my mom was like, you can do this because they've always known that I'm passionate about music. And she was like, just promise me that you won't fail at school. Because I was doing grade 11, so close to matric. And I promised, and I kept my promise, got my matric certificate at 60. You know, I get to say,
yeah, no.
yeah.
Man. So, when Mmabana was having, you were busy singing?
Always. You would not find me at home or doing anything because I'll beg. So, I believe it's an inborn gift. It's not something I picked up anyway.
Yeah.
Both maternal and paternal. Because they are all looking at me like, you also you know. But of late, I'm learning for it. It must have someone. There must have been someone. So the best way to get to that point is for me to do research. And I believe I'll know. But it's that. I've always been. I was that kid of primary school who had the music book. I was that kid.
Hey, when I was the music book. Can I wait to the quality?
Obviously, the artist.
The artist. He will inspire.
Everyone goes to long. Have a pina, but I can't make that. What a pina, mamma, I can't remember the lyrics. Yeah.
Now, tell me, you initially then picked up the guitar, but later transitioned to the bass guitar. It is such a powerful instrument in any band. What made you fall in love with the bass? I so love the bass. No?
Yeah.
Bass,
listen, I did not know what I think you want to go to Karakata. I want to go to
yeah. So, Opushu, I think,
the biggest, greatest cliche we all know. I wanted to start a band. I was 15. I picked up the acoustic guitar. So because I was already singing, but this is past now 15. I was around 19 at this age. No, it was more of, I always write music, but I did not know how to interpret music musically, you know, with instruments. So it was tiring to always have to call a pianist or a guitarist to help me write a song. And I was like, the only way for me to get what I want is for me to learn. That's how I picked up the acoustic. But then 3 weeks into the acoustic, I was like, but I want to start a band. That time, I think I knew how to play a C major scale, and then F, 2 scales. But already I felt like I needed a band. And Mmabana at that time, there were so many boys and girls who were learning how to play instruments. So we were all rudimental.
Was the big thing.
You know? Now, I'm seeing there were about 3 or 4 bands that were being started.
Yeah.
But these guys did not put the girls. Yeah. And we were allowed to.
Keep boys quiet.
Hey, little boys quiet. Then I was like, then the light bell to me, I'm gonna start a band,
yeah.
So I was reacting. I love music and all of that, but there was a reaction. Then there were all these other instruments, all of them, except for bass. I was like, but it looks like the guitar. They're like, yeah, sort of like. But the difference, they explained, because I don't know. Like literally, I did not know. They're like, well, it's the same as the guitar, but it differs because the guitar, then there's a B string, it changes. Okay, these two, are they the same? Okay, so I can play the scales that I play there here. But, hacks. That's how I started playing the instrument. And that time, I can see anything. There's a guy by the name of Neremita Dominic Shwang Shwang, maybe it's Shwang Shwang at that time. He was a saxophone player. Yes. He's the guy who taught me how to play the first note. He's the guy who showed me how to play a first song on the bass guitar. And guess I got getting at what few weeks in the learning process to go play with them, go to University of Natal. I know, but he unleashed the beast. I think that's why I'm so grateful. Every time I came on board, like you go and the kids from
Yes.
the impact, yeah.
That's a food game.
Yeah, it was not that.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That means you learning this instrument changed your way of understanding music now and so on.
Yes. So I started understanding the mix of a song. I started understanding what is more important when you are writing, and the importance is not rigid. It's based on you as an individual, what really speaks to you. So for me, it's mainly melody and the bass. So I know how to compose with that, and gradually I got into understanding a little bit of other instruments or how to articulate, and we are sitting on 2 albums later, working on the 3rd. So you can imagine how that really opened up also my understanding, and also it gave me more to work with, because if you don't take time to learn or to improve on a skill, you become limited. So for me, the singing was not enough. It was never enough. I always felt like, there's something that I can give that's more than singing. Little did I know that there was a monster waiting to be unleashed. Yeah, a monster.
Okay, so you began exploring songwriting in your career.
Yes.
What inspires you to write?
I think it's just a passion of loving life, loving how to express myself through this art. It's such a gift when you can identify what makes you tick, So I understood that from an early age. And I think also, that skill of writing the music book, you might take them for granted, but they help. Knowing how to structure a song, how to put melody into a lyric or into a groove. So that one, it inspired me to tell my story, my journey as Tebogo Sedumedi. Not particularly only in the music industry, but as a person, so that became a way of me expressing myself to the world. Even
your debut album, Make a Difference, carries a powerful title. What message were you hoping to share with the world through the project?
What the name stands for, to make a difference, I knew that I was different, especially with the instrument that I chose, but I did not understand the intensity and the depth of how different and important the work that I started was. I just wanted music that spoke to people's souls. I wanted music that spoke to people's positive perceptions. I believe that our words are our biggest responsibility. I don't believe in making something for the sake of you have to create. I believe in impact. I believe, listen to my song and you must think. Listen to my song and be like, hey, I wonder what made her write about making a difference, because it is a song in the album, where it talks about inspiring young people to trust and believe in that little voice in them, that you want to see the world for what it is and what you believe it should be, and be confident in that. And it's okay, like, express what's inside. So for me, it was always about that, making an impact, writing, make a difference. I have a song called Lerato. It's based on a Bible verse that talks about love. how important is that when we say we love one another, any form of love, you know, everything else. But it's because I came across a lot of people that would use that word, but they would mean something else. And then I said, that's why I get it. Mesebetsi ya bone ya ba tlhola ya bone ra le rata mare ditiro tsa rona ha di tsamaisane le tsona so my writing is very I am deliberate with what I write because I don't want to say anything that I don't mean. I don't want to say anything I don't believe in. So message is very important because also that's how we carry legacy. That's how also we transfer what has been given to us so that others can also drink from that well. So you as a vessel, you must stand for something that you can stand for when you're being asked, but why do you write this music? Yeah, so my reasons are for that. I like to be valid. I like to impact. I like people to go, wow, it's a powerful song. Yes, in all aspects,
You've performed on some of the biggest stages in the country, including Makhanda Festival, Joy of Jazz, and Joburg Arts Alive. What do those moments mean to you as an artist? But as an individual artist now?
For Naki, it's that well done, like Rakhbone, you're doing a great thing. We're doing sentle, you know. And we try to in volumes in terms of representation. It's very important. And I think also as artists, most of the time we fail to look at representation, and it means a lot for every language to be represented. And for Nadikoski Motswana, you know, I mean, I do have songs that English, which is it's global, you know, to also learn other languages. But the anchor for me is Setswana. And as time went by, I realized the importance of pushing Setswana more. Because even when you look at the metadata, we are not anywhere close to anything. Because what's being recognized, especially in our country, it's Zulu and Xhosa. You know, so for me, it's a little bit personal that I sing in Setswana because we are here, and we are here in numbers. And I believe our language is very beautiful, and it deserves to be heard in a platform where it could be turned into anything, into any genre. You know, I mean, we know even you know, the hip hop movement really put the Setswana on a map. And we can also do that with the singing, with the instruments, with the writing, with the producing, whatever it is. There can always be, yes, I remember reading an article, a film article about, I forgot her name, but she's a film producer. And she was telling the importance of writing in your native tongue because she was like, there are no movies, you know, kitty short, you know, series. And I can tell you how
artisting when you will never be casted.
Not only the artists, including the promoters.
It's about who are the nice business guy. They want to give a cat temple. Let them most cultural Sasa Ngun. Since in our preference of
because look, but what I'm saying is that there's power in numbers. Can you imagine if we have an artist you're behind them? Just be behind them. Then we won.
And
so imagine as a Motswana, Obokraya, the supporters would say 500,000. Let's not even go to 1 million. We can do it for the sake of the language, for the sake of who we are. Do you understand? Because the power. Because they can say that because they have the numbers.
Yeah.
But rona har supportang,
True.
you know, which is something that we need to work on. But also I think it's just trusting on who we are. If we can just be proud to be a Botswana and push it.
And that's what worries me most of the time. I don't think people are the day first. Artist Setswana man, Setswana sa bostone se kae. Setswana sa bona le shwe se kae. Re teng ka re tshetse go se kgweng, re tshetse go se Zulu se kae.
I guess it's easy for us as human beings to just to follow.
Yeah.
You know, it's easy because it takes away a lot of responsibilities. It takes away a lot of accountability.
True.
You know, because if you know drinking water is good for me without you having to research, you're just gonna drink water. But if somebody says no, but drink it with something else, it's a challenge.
True.
So people are going to wait to see if it really works before they can jump into it. It's the same thing. But we don't have to wait for that. We just have to support one another.
Exactly.
You understand?
Exactly.
Up to a point where people are like, hey, Batuba,
Exactly.
You know?
These performances, I want to lay so I point down what
Yes, I have quite a few. And I'm going to, yes, I do. I promise you, I have quite a few.
Fantastic.
But the one that is always sticking out and that will forever take precedence is when we performed at the Cape Town Jazz Festival with the late Hip Hop Anzola. This was in 2007, if not 2008. A while back, but it changed actually the music industry. I think that's why it's that important to me. He was the first hip hop act to ever be featured go a jazz festival of that caliber. That's Cape Town Jazz Festival. He was the first. So the responsibility was, it better work. I remember he was that was his one. Tibi, oh, he used to call me, eh? Do you think, Mari, do you think really change the jazz? No. The fact that music you own. So when your responsibility is to present it to your best ability. Listen, we worked on it for like 2 weeks, close to rehearsal for 2 weeks. Got the attires and stuff, which had a theme where we wore like the striped cardigans and whatever, like school kids, and he was the prefect, and we had a theme going there. We went there, we were performing at the baseline stage. After doing the intro we did the Nkosi Sigelele as the intro, the national anthem, but of course it had a little thing that was nice. Then we did that, it went into Harambe. Right? So straight from there, we the guitar, so my goodness. How does that pina you? The owner of Cape Town Jazz Festival, I'm seeing him on stage. Manager. I get on the bass player, but Babo, Rembing, Rehauki, Pelam. People are like, because who's the rest? I'm like, but because the way you couldn't take it, I thought it was Tilena, Koyako Tanika. As I'm staging, but I'm going to put the plastic cups. I can't have a you. No. Our guys have to stop double HP for performing. Are due to a stampede. The people, I had friends who came, they're like, we could not move. The only way people could move was if they moved together. That's how packed it was. for an hour performance. I'm talking probably 15 minutes. We had to be stopped. But unfortunately, we have to stop this performance and wait. Remember, Cape Town Jazz Festival has 4 or 5 stages. For everybody to finish performing. And we were taken to the biggest stage, which was outside, to go perform our set.
Killing me.
I promise you, I feel like I'm there even now. I can never trade this feeling for anything else. Doesn't matter. That it was so huge. It changed my whole perspective of what authenticity and honesty is in things, because that guy was just that. And it translated into his music, where Layla James, after that, because Layla James was part of the lineup, Layla James came to him, guys, can I jump with? Every artist wanted to jump on stage with us, because there was a stampede, like all the stages were written stampede, you don't go to baseline. Even the then president, Mr. Tebogo Sedumedi, wanted to see our performance.
Okay.
I know.
I'm imagining.
Yes.
When you were busy planning something and you didn't believe it was gonna work,
and then it just blows your mind. And that's when, after that, he kept on climbing kept on climbing.
You've also performed internationally, including Reunion Island and on a select tour supported by Pro Helvetia. I'm not sure if I'm calling it.
Yeah, Pro Helvetia.
Yeah. How did these experiences influence your perspective as a musician?
Collaboration is important. Crossing borders to present your art is important, because we must remember that art, it speaks the language of the times that this era, the times that we live in. Whatever that we write, whatever music that we are writing now in 2026, we are reflecting what is happening in our lives. So it's important that you take your experiences here in South Africa and share it with the neighboring countries, so that we can see the synergy and all of that. So it gives you an opportunity to collaborate with other musicians, for you to grow your brand, for people to know your language, for people to know that there are artists of and that thing, it's by default. That is why it pains me when, with the work that we do, we don't get the support that it is due to us, because we become the ambassadors indirectly, whether you like it or not. I did a tour with a production called Solidarity Express. Actually, we are doing something on the 21st as well. We were touring Italy for 27 days. Like the literal tour of today you are here, tomorrow you are there. 27 you don't spend more than one night in the same hotel. So I remember I think it was, I forgot the name of the town. Got on stage, I can look at this couple, what? Because why? Let me tell you why they said that to me. Because and I think also just because I think it came also, it made me want to do this even more. Then they were like, no, we live to Botswana, South Africa. We heard the language. We're like, that's Botswana. That made me so proud. It made me feel like I'm doing something worth being heard. So doing that, going to other countries, being in different stages, the impact is even beyond what we do, because people are going to ask you, you have no choice but to tell people, Tebogo Sedumedi, Northwest. How no choice? So that is why when I say we are ambassadors in that, we are. So the support has to go beyond, oh, you got booked, because we are going to plant a seed of Setswana. Yeah.
What differences did you notice performing for international audience compared to our local ones? We are learning. It's different now. It's getting there. But
The Europeans, especially, they have it's part of their culture. You know, music is not a hobby.
Yeah.
Music is a language that they speak. It's what they invest their time on. So in our country, people go to shows because they want to unwind. I had a tough week. Okay, for my man, it gives you a different understanding. So you're gonna come to my show, and chances are that you're going to speak through my performance. You're not gonna take time to listen to me, because to you,
What about you? I mean,
because we don't understand what art needs to be given. It has to be put on a high pedestal. You understand what I'm saying? Because there is it's like a poly rhythm thing happening. You are giving me your rhythm, your heart, I'm giving you one. So what's a song? Berkopana somewhere.
Some of the most respected artists in the industry.
Yes.
People like WHP, as you mentioned, Cynthia Dana,
Yes.
Kevin Mutsilanyana,
Yes.
Laurie Levine, and
Yes.
Vulcan Pillarman,
Yeah.
Gloria Bosco. What have these collaborations taught you about the craft of music and professionalism?
It teaches you the importance of trusting the art in you. Because I'm gonna go back to something that I said, because a lot of artists, they mimic. Because that's what's paying the bills. I can't remember being told, no, you have to make money.
Yeah.
It's true, yes, we want to make money.
Yeah.
But if the art is not authentic, it's not going to translate. Your work is not going to carry the depth and the value that it's meant to carry. So for me, because like you can see, it's a mashup. I mean, Volta does global music, winning Grammys and all of that. So being in that presence also, it says to me, Tebogo, if you can work with somebody who has won 3 Grammys, and they trust you, not just by playing, but also to say, oh, AusTebza, can you do 1, 2, 3, 4? What do you think of this? I'm like, why bona? And then to be called by the late Gloria Bosman to say, listen, we are honoring the late Mmabana Pop Band at the Joy of Jazz. And you walk on that stage, and I'm like, I remember saying, I know, I look like the daughter. Everybody because everybody would ask me if I'm Mmabana Pop Band's daughter, and I would always say yes.
You know, I wish everyone can experience a live band on stage.
I wish, or not just experience it, but to understand it, to understand what's happening there, like to know what it is. What's the magic?
Very nice, organized,
Very well organized.
their time there and feel what you're talking about. Because
Yes.
if you've never been there,
You'll never get it.
understand the stage.
So it also comes from going to certain places, putting shows in certain places, in certain ways, you know.
Is there a particular collaboration that changed the way you approach your work?
No, I'm gonna say no, because I think from the get-go I've always known what I wanted. But there's a lot that I've learned from every work that I've done, from every recording and songs that I've written. I mean, I've written for people like Both the Muffins. There's a song, I think it was the last album, called Tombo. When they came, AusTebza, you sing in Setswana. You know, can you help us? We're trying to write a song. Because Setswana is also intricate. You don't just write it. Unless you're deliberate. Sometimes I'm deliberate about that, because it just shows how deep you know. But I've learned so much, you know, of how people they react differently in studio, and how people, you know, some people can start at the back, some people start in the front, some people start in the middle, some people get into studio without anything and they come out with something. So those were learning curves for me that I took from them. But I've always wanted to record the music that made sense to me. That is why even when people are like, oh, why don't you do like a song with a piano, you know, when you play, I'm like, it sounds nice. I think it's a nice, but it's not for me. You know, it would be nice. Maybe there'll be another bass player who could do it, and it will work. But for me, there's a certain message I'm trying to take out there.
As a woman bassist and music director, you occupy a space that has traditionally been male-dominated. What challenges have you faced in the industry?
I think the most obvious one is the industry trusting you as a woman. You know, the industry is still learning how to trust women as leaders, women in, you know, power-making positions, you know, because I mean, history has taught us that women came in to just be the flower on top. Like, oh, we've already done this, just come and color. We want color.
We still have those.
Yes. It's still strong.
It's painful.
Yes, it is. So I think what we need to do as the industry is we need to learn to accommodate. I think the challenge is that the industry, or let's say rather male-dominated industries, they are rigid in their ways. They are not accommodative. You understand? Because the truth is that I'm not a man. I can never behave like a man. I don't do things like a man. I will do things like a woman because I'm a woman. But our workspaces don't accommodate that. So once, especially Yarona, because Yarona but forgetting for you are needing my time that I'm supposed to be investing in my children. But you want me to be here, but you're not even willing to meet me halfway and say, no, you can bring one Fana because it will also suit me and put me in a better, you know, a place for me to know. So I think our industry just needs to accommodate women and understand us from a woman's perspective. We are not here to compete. We are here to complement. We have the talent. Allow us to express it the way we feel it. It might not, hey, I never belong here. No, I like it this way just because I said pink. But then it makes us think we are not talented enough. It makes us think our ideas are not strong enough, of which they are. I mean, with the shows that I have directed, you know, and people are like, what?
Don't you think somehow position?
That is number one.
I've realized that on how
it's the same thing. It's the same thing. So we are fighting that. And we are fighting to be seen and recognized in that level, where we can make decisions. We can. I mean, I sit on a board of music creators of South Africa, and also on the CSI committee, Capasso. You know, and now you're inside. You're really seeing what's in the industry. You know, and I see the importance of pushing as women. For us to have a voice, it's not easy because when people come, it's like a scientific finding. You know, what people know, this has been tried and tested. That time you're like, I hear you're talking about science, but I'm talking about my heart, my passion, which is bigger than science. So there's a lot that we need to work on in order for us to work hand in hand, female and males, in all positions across the music fraternity.
There's a lot of work to be done.
A lot.
There's a lot of
A lot.
because I usually say there's more empowerment on women. Who's empowering these guys now to know how to deal with women that are empowered? We're on the same level.
Yeah.
Who's empowering them? No one cares about a boy child to empower them.
Yeah.
But women are busy being empowered.
Yes.
But I don't hurry to
Yes, that is why Kiri, the first thing is how we relate. Before we even get to what is your skill,
Exactly.
just how we relate. Kori. Don't look at me, don't give me the when I'm supposed to. No. Look at me as your equal, as somebody who can do what you can do. And if you can see me in that light, you'd be able now to give me the respect. Hey, okay.
What advice would you give to young women who want to become instrumentalists or music directors?
Passion. Just have enough passion because the job comes with challenges. You know, it's not. Hey.
And for both genders.
So can't you go on the pelo? Esa give up. O tshantse o rate ntho e but o e rate ka pelo e yotlhe ya gago. O nne na ka dinaka o nne so ga go te o gane ka wena. You know, so the important thing as a woman is our confidence. Don't let anyone change your confidence because that's what's going to open doors because it's male dominated. Be passionate. Make it show. Make your vision known as well. Be firm. Write things down. Prepare. Be consistent. Yes. Be consistent. And also, I say the music industry is so big. When we come in as artists, we all want to be on stage. And the truth is that we can not all be on stage. Not all our bread will be from the stage. But it can be around the stage. It can be in the boardrooms. So there's so much that we can find out. Maybe you could be part of that has nothing to do with staging. It's just more impact. You know. But don't be addicted to that. I always tell people, like a lot of people, hey, I can't go on TV, like I keep it good TV. I can't keep it good TV. But I no, I'm just trying to show you, that's not where I work. I work where the people are. So you need to know yourself, okay, this is who I am in the industry. And research. Now it's easier. It's not, we don't leave it to chance to be discovered.
Technology means
so for now, researcher, and then you'll find actually there are more jobs. So they're exciting when you're like, oh, I didn't know I could be really make money out of being a facilitator. Oh, that is even bigger. Bigger, that needs to be explored. So all I'm gonna say to women who want to get into this space, do it beyond wanting to be on stage. Do it beyond wanting to sing. Do it beyond also just wanting to play. Be open, be versatile, be broad. Nama. How can Nama? Uto discover hey bathong. Can't you next time be interested in more knowing more about the international royalties? I get na kana go fela mo bosa mo fela.
Can't you
teng go ntle.
Bona se kwesena le bottle. Sister, you're also known as a mentor to young musicians. Why is mentorship such an important part of your journey?
Legacy. I think that's number one. Legacy and continuity. It's very important. Our stories, it's a thread. You know, there's even when you write anything, so our stories are started So for me, I mentor because representation is everything. I just wanted to be this artist and take out whatever that was inside of me. I did not know that I was being positioned to affect change globally, where I get women from all over the world through social media, where they're like, my goodness, who are you? How can you assist me with this? You do this and that. So mentorship is very important because you also get to see Luena, where you come from and where you are. So it helps with your growth as well, but also it inspires somebody to keep going. I've mentored girls that could not stick to rehearsal routines because of expectations also from our household. Now when you've got that, already creates an imbalance. So but then how you like that, you involve the parents. You make them understand this thing, it needs to be crafted, it needs to be nourished. Yes, so I do it so that the continuity, and then now I'm just, it's just because I'm creating the blueprint. So I'm praying for this blueprint, they will carry it and open it up.
What do you believe young artists should focus on if they want to build sustainable careers in music?
Truth. Because then so because of social media and how everything is happening, but chase more than the art. So how can I chase the art? In a way it won't stop. That is why you get now people that were making all the money, all of a sudden now it's donate. It's because for the art, for the impact. But when you do it like that, then you will be like Bo and that hot sticks still performing today. Carly today will perform. So you need to have your priorities checked. Why are you doing this? If it's about getting money now and not having impact, but if you want longevity, if you want your name to be written in history, you're going to have to do it differently. Focus on the art, the craft, the truth, the present, and try not to focus more. I want to have the biggest car, the biggest house, the most expensive clothes. I want to drink the most expensive alcohol, be seen in all these things. Believe you me, they are nothing compared to legacy. Because legacy will live on forever.
You've been featured across radio, television, and print media over the years. How important is media visibility for artists today? Social media.
I mean, the industry has changed. There is not a big reliability on only mainstream TV. Yes, newspaper, like back then. You need radio, TV, and newspaper. Those were the three. But now you actually need your talent and your presence to make an impact. So we still need them because not everybody, as much as we have access to social media, but not everybody has the social media. There's still people that listen to radio. So all I'm saying is that don't say no to anything, whether it's newspaper, whether it's radio, whether it's push yourself wherever you get an opportunity, go there. You will never know who might be listening to that. I mean, I remember when I heard the story of how Freshly Ground became Freshly Ground. They're saying their song grew up to be due. I think it was a year, going to 2
Tlhagile
years.
le normal le lengwe man, maybe-
Going to 2 years after the release of the thing. And what does the media say? If Pinaka by the first 3 months I see Kate, Lebala.
Ba tswa mo go bao, ba go
That's
rata.
what over a year. So and
it is.
it was picked up like a small radio station, not the big one. It was picked up by a community radio station, if I'm not mistaken. And I heard this from them.
Ditiro tsa Modimo di diragala.
So what I'm saying is that every opportunity you take it, because you'll never know who might be waiting to hear you.
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
So it's just investment. Invest on the craft. Invest on putting yourself out there in a light, a note, in a very positive note.
Yeah.
Don't chase dilo tsa ka pele. Don't want to be famous for dilo tse leng gore di tlo go tlhabisa kgale tsatsi le lengwe when that high has gone down. And you look back and you're like, but what was I doing? You start becoming a meme. And now people don't respect you the same way. Then now you start being depressed. You start thinking, what was the point? I used to be so and so. But things have changed. So people follow good character. Yeah.
When people speak about AusTebza years from now, what do you hope they remember most about your contribution to music?
A woman who opened doors for others. A woman who was brave to get into spaces that a lot of women, maybe by mabaka, not by choice, but the woman who persevered, a woman who did not give up, a woman who people would want to steer a certain way, and I was like, but this is where I am. I'm here to learn, but don't change the course. Don't change my vision. Don't support the fellow woman. So I hope they will look at my work and it encourages them to follow their dreams, to believe in whatever it is that they want to achieve, that is possible.
Yeah.
You know, especially when you want to do things that are not very big in, with women. You know, trust the process. Trust the process. So I hope that they will listen, or they will see my work and just be inspired.
What's the next vision, the next chapter of your career?
Well, I have a company called Her Music Activation.
Okay.
So we are obviously a business, but also an agency where you will be seeing, I believe, maybe for the first time in South African music history, a female database. You know, female musicians, like everyone will be there. I think it's important because I think we get lost in translation. So I'm busy building that up. So this is going to be home for female musicians, but we're not going to close it only to that. I mean, if there's a need, when I get more, from airport, it's really to uplift women and to have a place where they know we could be found. Because I've also come across a lot of us, especially where in a country where we have a month dedicated to us, but you hardly get one artist who says, hey, man, we booked 15 in this month. And then when you ask, people are like, we don't know any female. I was like, okay, so visibility, very important. So this is going to be about that, to build that hub. So it's going to be easy to see and to groom and to give workshops, to create the next AusTebza, and to put them in a stage where now they can also start earning. And like I said, it's the confidence. I want to start building on that so that we've got women that are confident. They get on stage, they are confident in their craft, and we get to also share in the greater scheme of the industry. Yeah.
Can you, before I close, paint me a day when you guys were playing for it? There was a gig called Makhanda Festival that I watched once with the late WHP when you guys were playing. And you mixed even some quiet inside.
Yes.
But how was that?
That performance, a lot of people remember that performance.
It was hot.
Yes, I think also it's because when you've got an artist who had a vision of showing that you can be multi-dimensional.
Yeah.
Well, not even Morati, but only hip hop. He loved jazz. He loved Motown. loved live music, and that is what he wanted to say. And he was like, I want people to listen to me and not say I'm a motswako artist. I don't want people to call me a musician. So I think that moment we were trying to show how you can play all these different genres. I mean, some of them, they came into the scene.
Yeah.
It was just like they were never, explored live.
Yeah.
And then he was about that. How can we play this live? How can we mix and it worked? So it also shows you that you have the power to turn anything into whatever you want it to be. So it was amazing. I loved it. I loved putting in one song we could do 2-3 different genres. And it still made sense.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
AusTebza, I wish we had the whole day.
Hey,
Because vision to motivate people not even nonetheless,
and also I think the mentality of our dreams and goals, they are valid at any point in our lives, whether okudile, whether umwana. As long as you are still breathing, your dream is valid. So you don't have to you'll never know.
No, episode 21. Ritual ka modumo na le modumo go pele re mo protea hotel ya Mafikeng re kopile go ka tshwarela AusTebza mo teng ka re tshwarela ka modumo ya o ka utlwa go itega tsebe le mmino tsa mo go bona ga ka skra tima go kgwebo ga bereko go le kopile ka tswa go morago ga go hala dipitsa ya no le chaile. Okay, botshelo ba ga AusTebza represents the power of dedication, creativity and musical excellence. From starting in a band at the age of 15 to performing on global stages and collaborating with legendary artists, her journey continues to inspire many young musicians. Thank you for sharing your story with us, AusTebza. And this has been your episode 21 of the Dust&Vision, and I'm your host, Robustness. Until next time, from Dust, we create rhythm, and through vision, we shape legacy.